What's going on, guys? Back at you again, and we're finally here. We're here to decode the wild card. This is what our fourth or fifth wild card in a row, and in a few weeks before the Super Bowl, I will reveal to you. Well, Madden will reveal to me the NFL Super Bowl champion, and I will reveal that to you. So we just gotta wait a few weeks till Madden reveals that to us like they always do, like idiots. Or they just toy with us because they think we're stupid and won't figure it out. But we do on this channel. We do. Everyone else is like, let's wait and find out who's gonna win. But Madden is revealing it every time. But I'll have that for you. But leading up to that, we're gonna pick these games and try to make some money for you guys. You know, for those that are gonna bet no matter what. But if you're on the fence, stay away. Don't bet. These games are rigged and scripted. They could change it at any moment. So you're really just throwing your money up in the air. But if I can't convince you not to bet, this is for those people that I can't convince not to bet. And if you're going to do it no matter what, I would like to try to help you. You know what I mean? But if you can withstand, just don't do it. You know, these games are scripted. But anyway, let's just go through this like we always do. I'm not going to be in order. But first game, I got LA versus Houston. You know, with the Chargers and Washington, what I'll say is this. No one thought that these teams would make it this far. They had losing records. They were in the top 10 in the NFL draft for picks, so that means you suck. They turned it around, so them making it this far, that's a win in itself. You know, outside of like two or three players, we can't really name anybody on these teams. You know what I mean? It's really the quarterback and the coach that's changed everything for these teams. And unfortunately, you need a little more than that to win a Super Bowl and a playoff game. You know what I mean? So with Houston, they were that team that we're talking about now, about the Chargers. That was Houston with D'Amico Ryans coming in, turning everything around. But now they've had another year to build on that. So they're just a more equipped team right now. And both coaches are pretty damn good. You know, Jim Harbaugh is a walking playoff win. You know what I mean? He used a muffed fumble on a punt, you know, from being in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when he was on the Niners, that Kyle Williams guy muffed a punt, and that's why they lost. That was supposed to be the game-ending drive. He muffed it, the Giants got it, and they won. So, one can be said, it was supposed to be a horrible Super Bowl, and the 49ers could have maybe won, but we know they wouldn't have because the Ravens were always scripted to win. Wait, no, I lied because the Giants won that year, so never mind. It could have been anyone if they won. Never mind. But the point I'm making is no one expected this to happen, you know? Like, Houston, we need to see them start making some steps, taking some steps forward. Like, I think if Houston loses this game, they're going to have to consider some things here. They're going to have to make some changes because you got to the first round last year. You got to make it to the next round. We got to see you improving, you know? Getting to the first round and getting bounced out every time, that makes you Andy Dalton, you know? Are you Andy Dalton or are you the next tier up? That's what we got to figure out. So with that, I'm going to pick Houston because they have more to prove and more to lose here. Because no one, right now, the Chargers and Washington, they're both playing with house money, you know? No one's expecting them to win, and if they win, that's even better for them. So that's why I'm doing that. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, next game for me. This one right here, I'm going to probably go Baltimore, but Pittsburgh, it really depends on Russell Wilson and if he takes shots to Pickens down the field, because this is it, man. There's no next week. You got to leave it all on the field. If he can do that and take his shots and rush when he has to and be accurate and stop being so passive, the Steelers they have a chance. But Baltimore, they're just so good. They can beat you so many different ways. And they have the MVP on their team, the reigning MVP for 2 years. So I don't think they're going to have the MVP lose to a washed up Russell Wilson on his third team, you know. That's just a bad look. It's bad optics. So NFL, they're all about optics and they're all about good looks. So it's a good look for Baltimore to win. I'm picking Baltimore. Next, we got Denver, Buffalo. I don't even know how Denver made the playoffs. I would much rather have seen the Bengals. I think we all would, but like I said, every year it's 6 new playoff teams. And what did we get? I don't know if it was 6, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Minnesota didn't make it last year. So we got 5. But I think I'm probably missing another team. Did Tampa make it last year? Yeah, Tampa made it. Oh yeah, the Rams didn't make it, so that's 6 right there. So that's 6 playoff teams, guys. Literally, it happens almost every year. On average, it's 6 new playoff teams that make it. And again, it was 6 new playoff teams. So next year, it ain't gonna be these 6 teams. Is basically what I'm saying. So all these teams that make it, they have to make the most of it now, because you can't say, "Oh, we were good, we made it this year, we'll be fine next year." Nope, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? There's going to be another star. There's going to be another year. That's how the NFL is year to year, guys. It's no longer, except for, it only applies for Mahomes. But everyone else, it's year to year. You're a star just for that year. Because next year, a new guy's coming. They're going to market someone else. It's year to year in the NFL, guys. It's not like the NBA or any other these other leagues where the star is the star for years to come. It's not like that anymore. So I am going Buffalo here because they're going to squeeze the most they can out of Josh Allen, because he's not going to be able to play like this forever. He's, turning 28, 29? Like, they're getting older, man. They're going to be, before you know it, in a season or two, they're going to be in their 30s. He's not going to be able to run in the linebackers the way he does, or the way he did when he was 22, 23. So it's just enjoy what you're seeing now with these quarterbacks, because we're not going to be able to see it much longer. How many more years can they play like this in their 30s? So with that, we're going to go Green Bay, Philly. I actually like Green Bay in this game. I know Philly, they got some players. I know Saquon's hot. But I just like Green Bay. I just think their coach is a better coach. I don't trust Sirianni. I think he needs to be gone. And they got to go in a different direction. I think Green Bay... Oh, they did lose Christian Watson, though. So that actually changes my pick. Because Christian Watson makes the defense have to play everything deep. And that's their number one player, their number one superstar. Other than the quarterback, of course. So now that... Yeah, he has a torn ACL. I forgot all about that. So I'm going to actually go Philly to win this game. Even though I like Green Bay. I would have picked Green Bay. And I still kind of want to pick them. But losing Christian Watson, that's a big-time loss. I don't know if in a playoff game that Jordan Love can overcome that. This isn't Tom Brady. This isn't Mahomes, you know. This isn't any of those guys. This is the guy that needs everything to be right. And everything is not right for this moment in time. So next, we got Washington, Tampa Bay. I already spoke a little bit on this. I'm going to go Tampa here because Washington, other than their quarterback and Terry McLaurin and maybe their running back, Brian Robinson, you can't really name too many other players. You know what I mean? So they're doing this on what? Sheer script? You got to ask yourself, how is this team so damn good? You know what I mean? There's a lot more to it, and I just don't have enough time to go through it. But just know this is part of the script. But we're picking Tampa to win. Next, we got Minnesota versus the Rams. Sam Darnold versus Matthew Stafford in a playoff game is basically what you're saying. If you look at the bets, everyone thinks the Rams are going to win, but I think they're setting us up for a Minnesota versus the Lions. You know, Detroit Lions to play in the conference. That's what everyone wants to see. Because the top 5 teams are those 2 teams included with the Chiefs, Ravens, and the Bills. Those are the top 5 teams. So I don't know how they're going to do it because it's an odd number. I don't know how they're going to give us the matchups we want to see. So we'll have to see how they end up doing that because we know it's going to be the Chiefs versus either the Bills or the Ravens, or it's going to be Bills versus Ravens, you know. If someone knocks off the Chiefs, which probably won't happen. I see the Chiefs three-peating. And then maybe next year someone gets good enough to beat them. But this year I don't think anyone's good enough to beat them in a playoff game. This ain't regular season where everyone, you know, the hopes are down, you're traveling, and, like, morale's different, up and down. No, this is the playoffs. You know there's no game next week. Everything's on the line. That's just different. It's different in the playoffs. And the Chiefs, they've been champions for years now, so that's why I trust them, and I think the NFL wants their first three-peat to happen. And who knows, maybe their first four-peat. The greatest dynasty ever, Because you got to think, Andy Reid, he started back in 99 with Donovan McNabb. All those years of losing and coming so close, humiliation, getting fired. He went through so much BS, so much fire, like almost 20 years before he won a Super Bowl, guys. The NFL made him pay his dues, and they're probably just going to pay him off now. Make him the best coach ever. First 4-peat coach, 3-peat coach. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. That's better than Belichick type stuff. So, we're just going to have to see. But when it comes to Minnesota versus LA, this is probably the toughest game to pick out of all of them. It really, truly is, guys, when you think about it. Because it can go either way. You got the Rams. They got guys that have already been there in the Super Bowl and won one. But then you got the young guys on the Minnesota that are hungry, haven't been there yet, but they've been so good all year. They've beaten up on some pretty bad teams, right? Playing the Bears twice, let's be honest. That's not really a competition. And then some of these other teams, like the Cardinals and these other teams that haven't made the playoffs, they beat a lot of non-playoff teams, but they did beat some playoff teams as well. But it's just hard to say. I don't know what to say because the Rams are just so young, but so is Minnesota. But I think they're gonna set us up for the matchup. I'm picking Minnesota only because I like the Rams, but I'm picking Minnesota because I think they're setting us up for the Lions versus Minnesota. And then we'll probably see Lions versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl because I think the Lions are a little bit better. I trust their quarterback more. Even though they lost Aiden, which was stupid. I don't know why the NFL would let that happen. Unless that was just a real injury, because that does happen, though. Even though they are scripted, sometimes real injuries do happen. But a lot of times these injuries are fake. But that's neither here nor there. It's him getting injured kind of makes me pause a little. Like, what are they doing with the script here? Do they not want Detroit to win? Or is that going to be the reason why they lose to the Chiefs? They didn't have their best player on defense. Now they just come short, I'm already trying to see how they're going to write this story. But that's probably what it's going to be. Detroit wins, meets the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but they can't beat the Chiefs because they can't get a pass rush like they would if Aiden was there. Like, I can see how they're going to write this story. But that's how I'm going to leave it, guys. I know I rambled a little bit, but I guess that's why you guys like to watch my videos. But other than that, guys, we'll be back to make the picks for next week. And enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.